response is also so different between the Japanese and the English.
Of course.
All right. Of course, man, I'll do that for you. That doesn't have the same emotional weight that the Japanese have. I'm Linguist Vicky Lee, and today I'm here with Duolingo comparing One Piece's Japanese originals to the English dubs to understand what they got right and what they may have gotten very wrong. First, let's take a look at how word choice can change a dub. So this is Zoro's introduction scene. In the opening line, he says, in the Japanese, is nanda.
Nanda.
It's fine. It's also like a little charming. There's something charming about it. It's in like a form that's casual, kind of friendly. But then you hear the English, and he says,
what do you want?
In the English, feels so much more aggressive. So he's portrayed as dangerous, which comes across very literally in the English.
You got a death wish, kid? Just scram.
Just from his opening line to this child in the Japanese, you can tell that he's actually very friendly with this kid. And then later, in the nickname that he calls her, in the Japanese he says chibi, which is also very friendly. You can call a neighborhood kid like chibi, which I think the dub does a good job here. Technically, he is supposed to be dangerous, but there's something charming about the Japanese one. In this scene, we can see how word choice can change a character's motivation. So in this clip, when he says like, someone like you won't ever become a pirate in the Japanese, it can sound kind of too harsh. The relationship between Shanks and Luffy is very parental. In this moment, Shanks is not trying to aggravate Luffy, but because Luffy is who he is, he's becoming like worked up by it. And I think the English does give the same relationship.
You'll never make it as a pirate.
No! I will make it as a pirate! I'll show you!
But there is the idea that this is a cool uncle figure. The nuance of how much of like a guardianship that Shanks has over Luffy, I think, is more pronounced in the Japanese. Yeah, casually Shanks loses his arm for this child. And then he's like, yeah, you can be the king of pirates. I believe in you. But that just means that he's such a great parent figure. Like, who could forgive you for that if not your parent? Okay, let's keep watching. So this is a very iconic scene of Luffy receiving his symbol, his straw hat. The Japanese uses azukeru, which means to entrust onto someone else. And the English goes for,
I'll leave this hat to you.
So in the English, the idea of like giving something to someone is kind of like passing the baton. Azukeru, like to entrust something, it means that you're leaving it with someone for safekeeping. They have similar effects, but I do think the Japanese here emphasizes the importance of the hat, which is a huge motif throughout the whole anime. In order to make the English dub more like the original Japanese, I would swap out leave with entrust and say my hat instead of this hat. It emphasizes possession, that it's something important to him. And entrust has more of that connotation that was similar to the Japanese compared to just leaving it with someone. So I've seen the Reddit posts and I agree with you. I think Luffy's voice can be a little annoying, but it might not be only a voice thing. It might definitely be a word choice thing. In this clip, Chopper's sense of belonging is altered by the translation. First of all, the idea of togetherness comes up first. 一緒に, let's do this together. Whatever's gonna happen after at the end of the sentence, we're doing it together. He sets that premise. And then the grammar that he uses to say, let's do it, all of it is about, you're coming with me to be part of us.
You're gonna come on our ship and be a pirate with us, okay?
In the English, you can clearly tell that Luffy's sense of self comes first before the idea of Chopper becoming one of them. It can sometimes feel like a little selfish, where he says, like, you're coming with me.
You're gonna come on our ship and be a pirate with us.
His intention is all about getting Chopper to join the crew. In the Japanese, he first starts with all these reasons why he can't join.
だって俺はトナカイだ角だってひづめだってあるし
that he's a reindeer, that he's not human. But the big part of this is the blue nose point. So in Japanese, he says like aoppana, which means like blue nose. It's a nickname that's insulting. It's the same as calling someone like four eyes. In the English, it's just a statement.
I even have a blue nose!
In the Japanese, it's a diss. So it reflects how much Chopper has this like self-hate because of this effect of Chopper just laying out his emotional trauma to these people he met for the first time, but them inviting him anyway with this idea of togetherness. It makes the scene something that's healing.
気が向いたらここへ
うっせー行こ
Whereas the English, there's this inspirational note.
But if you wanted to, you could stop by here again. Shut up! Let's go!
But I think it does miss out on the heartwarming group factor, the healing factor that the Japanese has. It's also interesting to see how the One Piece live action handles this scene.
Let's go be pirates together.
Let's go be pirates together. That encompasses the feeling of togetherness that we saw in the Japanese.
I would love to be a pirate with you all, but I can't. I have hooves and antlers and a blue nose. It's impossible.
Just shut up and come with us!
Okay. Oh, I think live action does a good job of bringing back the fuzzy feelings that we had in the Japanese that kind of got lost in the dub. Good job. Next, let's see how cultural differences can impact a dub. Some things don't just get lost in translation, they don't exist in English at all. So in the Japanese, Zeph says, don't catch a cold. Like, it's one of the weird things that Japanese parents have particular concerns about. That line from Zeph to Sanji, I think, outlines that relationship between them. Since Sanji was a child, he was taken care of by this person.
Sanji, take care of yourself, okay?
Like, take care of yourself in the English can be a little bit distant. Like, oh yeah, take care. That's not as close as I'm concerned about the image of you getting sick when I can't help you. First of all, he's kneeling in a position that's called dogeza. In Japanese culture, that's a type of kneeling that you only do when things are really serious. You have to physically represent how bad you feel or how grateful you feel. You get on your hands and your knees and your forehead is on the floor level of kneeling. But the language too, he changes his whole sentence structure to be something called keigo in Japanese. We only use it to like your boss, which technically he is his boss, to like really important people with a lot of authority. It's like a huge idea of like raising the person you're talking to and lowering yourself. And he's doing both with his language. This extra formal language doesn't exist in English.
Chef Zeph! Thanks, you geezer. I'll never forget your kindness. I owe my life to you, old man.
They did a well enough job for what they had available in English, but I definitely think there was no real way to translate this set of lines. In this scene, it's a famous barrel scene. Everyone knows this scene. In the Japanese, you can clearly see that idea of togetherness coming back. The big idea for this scene is starting a sentence of we're going off to the Grand Line because X, Y, and Z. And in the Japanese, each member is filling in this blank with their own goal.
俺はオールブルーを見つけるために
俺は海賊王
俺は大剣豪
But they're all part of that same sentence. We're off to the Grand Line, we're off to the ocean because something. Versus the English, which is that each person is coming in with their own goal, and that goal is their own purpose.
I'm going to the Grand Line to find the All Blue.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The world's best swordsman.
This is like a very fundamentally different cultural idea between Japanese and English, where in Japanese, even if we're all different, in the end game, we're all one entity. Versus English, we all still have our uniqueness. We all, the way that we're structuring our goals is still different, but we can come together to go off on an adventure. Let's see how dubs can change emotions. For Nami's famous scene where she is on the brink of losing everything and she needs to finally ask someone else for help. In the grammar form of it is leave as in it's an order. I'm telling you to leave. In the English, the dub, which has a lot of different versions, she says leave, she says get out of here.
So leave! I told you to leave! Get out of here! Get out of here now! Go!
And there's different effects that they have. So the Japanese one, having her only say that one line in the ordering form grammatically, she's mentally at a point where she cannot form any other thoughts and she just has one word and she's telling him to leave. Versus the English, which through the different variations of the line, there's still a sense of anger, but it's like controlled. You can see that Nami feels more desperate in the Japanese. Like she's telling him to leave, but you can get a sense that she's like pleading to him. So this is the line where Nami finally is realizing she needs to ask someone else for help. In the Japanese, she says "tasukete." I have thoughts about this. "Tasukete" does mean help me, but it means something closer to save me, and in a way that's desperate. When you say "tasukete," that involves a lot of emotional hurdle for Japanese. Like you usually don't ask for help in that sense unless things are dire. So this idea of Nami, who is independent, she has her thing to not ask for help. Not even say "tetsudatte," it's "please save me." It adds to the amount of desperation she has. This is where definitely the dub has to fall flat.
Luffy, help me.
Help me does not give the same emotional delivery at all. Duo, help me out here. I think we should swap help me for save me. You know how people say it's not about what you said, but how you said it? Yeah, that definitely applies with dubs. Luffy's response is great here. Whew, okay. Because in the Japanese, he says, "atarimae da," which does mean, of course, but it means like, that's a given. I've never doubted at any point that I would help you. There wasn't a single part of me that considered not helping you. And then Luffy's response is also so different between the Japanese and the English.
Of course.
All right.
That's what friends do.
Yeah. Of course, man, I'll do that for you. That doesn't have the same emotional weight that the Japanese had. Before Robin's famous line of wanting to live, Luffy prompts her to say something.
There's still something I want to hear you say! Tell me you want to live!
And in the Japanese, he says like, "I need to hear it from your own mouth." It's a common thing in Japanese to say, but also it's the idea that you need to take ownership for your words. This is a very important scene for the fans, and there are a lot of supporters of the dub for this specific line, where a lot of people consider the dub to be better. As a lot of people mention like the voice crack when she says it, which technically does appear in the Japanese too, but it's more obvious in the English.
I want to live!
In terms of emotional delivery, the dub for One Piece overall is, if not better, then at least just as good as the Japanese in some parts, but can fall flat in other places. Let's see how dubs can change with sense of humor. Check out Luffy's iconic Baka song in Japanese.
南の島はあったけパイナップルプル頭ポカポカアホバーカ北の島は寒い
Now watch it in English.
The islands in the south are warm, and their heads get really hot. They grow pineapples, they grow coconuts, and they're morons!
That's the thing. With humor and with music, you won't even make it to the second verse. That's how hard it is to translate. Because the dub doesn't have it. They're just like, oh, we don't know how to do this, we don't know how to handle this, we're just gonna move on to the next line and hope no one notices. But I noticed. The fun part about the Japanese baka song is that it's modeled after that traditional Japanese sound. It has that folk sound, it's like folklory. It also has vocabulary that is like regional. It's not Tokyo Japanese. It tends to be like something that would be considered kind of country bumpkin. So because there's no Japanese folk music in English and there's no regional phrasing for English, that comedy just doesn't come the same way through. So is the One Piece dub really as good as people say? I'm traditionally a sub supporter, but after all of this analysis, I feel comfortable saying that I'm okay with the One Piece dub. What do you think?